This paper was presented at the JCT Traffic Signal Symposium 2025. Video coverage of this paper is provided by Highways News and sponsored by Mobius Networks, AGD, Smart Micro UK, TRL Software, Traffic Group Signals, AD Electronics, and Four-Way Consulting.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my presentation on the lawn crossing. So let's have a look, and we'll just do an overview of my presentation this afternoon. So here, this is what started it off. This is Nith Bridge in Thornhill in Scotland, and Dumfries and Galloway is in the southwest of Scotland. Spans a very large area from Gretna in the east to Stranraer in the west. This is a rural location 16 miles north of Dumfries. It's an 18th century stone arch bridge, as you see here, listed with Historic Scotland. It is 4.5 metres wide over the top part there. You can just see over those two arches. So we've been approached by the Penpont Trust, which are forming an active travel link from, as you see this picture here, in the bottom left corner, through over the bridge and onto Thornhill, which is off the top right of the picture here. So we've been approached by their consultants, Transport Planning and Engineering and Unix Traffic, on a design for getting a safe link for active travel, pedestrians and cyclists across the bridge. So instinctively, when they came up with the design, having a control crossing across the bridge, you thought, I'm not sure about that. So it's around 45 meters long across the bridge here. Ideally, maybe a separate bridge or whatever, but it's just not going to be feasible with the budget and the setting there. So that's kind of got me thinking and having a look. And surprisingly for me anyway, there are some unusual examples from around the UK. So I'd had a site visit to a number of them to have a look and see if there was any themes and anything there I could learn from other examples. So we'll have a look at that, then we'll analyse what I found and have a look at the proposed design. So here is a map. So there was a number we'll have a look at the northwest of England first. So there's a number of sites here. Found out there's a really useful discussion and page on Sabre, the Roads Digest. A number of people have kind of written about unusual sites. That got me started, and then speaking to other colleagues around the country. So we found a few here. So in the northwest, we've got this one in Blackburn. So this one is over a canal. Again, it's quite narrow. We've got kind of, but this one's a pedestrian-only example. You can see here, you'll see the theme here. There's it's a wee bit marked with textured surface there, but there's an all red part of the sequence where the pedestrian crossing's on to give you a protected crossing over the canal. Near side displays, 21 meters long. Okay, so next one, whoops, this one, let's have a look at here. So moving to Scotland, have a look. This one is in Glasgow. So this one here, you'll see, as I went to the site, I've taken a few videos. So this one has near side displays. It's under a canal, so it's an aqueduct here. So it's quite a narrow structure. So yes, we've got kind of here, you can see there's the tactile paving. It gives you an edge kind of thing. So it does have two very small footways. I've got a feeling they're mostly there to kind of direct the traffic into the middle, because it is quite a strong arch to try and get the height restriction that's marked on the sides there. So pedestrians and cyclists there, near side displays, and that one's 32 meters long. The next one here, that's Carluke, which is just in Lanarkshire, outside Glasgow. This one goes under the railway line here. Again, we've got a height restriction on the bridge. This one had near side displays, so I've rotated round there to press the button, so with the near side display, that allows you to face the traffic. This one is marked, you can see the texture surface is a wee bit worn there. So, but again, it's fully protected as you come onto the bridge. Okay, so yeah, and I'll just turn around. There's a cyclist coming through just on the main road there. So there we are. Okay, right. If I just, so this is Nith Bridge and Thornhill, the site here that we're looking at, kind of thing. So you can see, yes, this the 4.5 meters. So this is a car going over the top. But because it's agricultural, there's quite a number of tractors with the various equipment coming off the back, coming over the bridge. So we've got these interesting refuges at the top, which at the moment it's unsignalised, so they're kind of used for pedestrians on the bridge, kind of to wait. You can see the visibility is not brilliant. It is quite interesting. It's on this A702, but it's a very rural road, so there's not a huge amount of traffic, but you do see it is quite interesting because there's the two bends coming onto the bridge. You can see the traffic coming up and then suddenly realising something's coming up the other side, and there's a bit of a give and take and reversing. So yeah, shuttle signals in themselves are certainly going to help that. That will allow us to create protected space. So, okay, I'll just come out of that. If we just go back to the northwest and have them compare with a couple of other ones. So there's this one is Standish here. So yeah, this one was quite a busy one. It's got mover control, which does make sense because it was quite busy with the traffic. So we've got the display here. This one's a far side example. I mean, you can just about see in the distance, yeah, the far side display there. Just wait for the traffic to go. Yeah, so there we are. That's me moving across now. So yeah, so it kind of gives you somewhere to aim for. I mean, you'll see there that we've kind of got the normal near side, far side, pros and cons of each kind of thing. So this one had also, as well as the main shuttle, we've kind of got these two lanes off one side. One's a car park, and one is kind of like it's a lane to a number of residential properties and farms. So yeah, so it was, and there we are. So the traffic's moving off there. So 22 metres from that one. Newton the Willows, that's near St Helens. So this one was under a railway. Near side displays again. It's recently been refurbished. I think in the past it used to have a single aspect, almost green man display. So it had a bit of a mixture of near side and far side. The single aspect displays have been left disconnected at the moment. So it just worked as on the near side displays, as well as the signalised crossing through and under the bridge. There's also your standard crossing across the carriageway on either side as well. So Altrincham, this was another interesting one. This is far side displays again over a canal bridge. It was on a bend. So you've, as well as the sort of the footway coming onto the bridge, there's this footpath coming off the side as well. Again, a very busy site. So I've obviously pressed the button and having to wait for the stage to come up. So traffic's coming around. Again, I do like the far side displays as giving you something to aim for and so on. Yeah, very busy. So right. And there we are, that's the green man, so then you can move safely across. It is quite a narrow bridge, so there's no real space for any particular footway markings or anything like that. And there's someone there coming up to use it as well. Okay, and the final one I had a look at is Penkridge, which is just in Staffordshire. So this is another one under the railway line. It's under the West Coast Main Line. It's just recently been refurbished. You've kind of got the near side displays there again. And this one's marked out with like crossing studs. You can see that there, just a recommended way through the bridge. But again, there's kind of an all-stop stage there it's protected crossing period. Okay, so right. So what did I learn? sorry, let's just come back out of that. So the analysis, here we are. Oops. Yes, so just right, analysis, here we are. So yeah, all the designs were fairly bespoke. I mean, we're well outside anything that's drawn up in the traffic signs manual or whatever. So, you know, the designers have all come up with various ideas and things that work for them. There's a mixture of the near side and far side. There wasn't a particular theme there. It either reflects the sort of the authority's preference or what the designer thought was the best option for their. So, and again, as I mentioned, you've kind of got the pros and cons of each. You know, the near side displays are good. You press the button and you go in, but then you kind of feel like you're in no man's land, especially with these long crossings kind of thing. So it's tactile paving at most of them. It just tends to mark the edge. It's very difficult to direct you out and send you off in a straight direction. So it more marks the edge of the footway kind of thing. And as you saw there, there's the marked area for pedestrians is kind of optional kind of thing. So moving on to the timings. So yeah, you can calculate just using your standard 1.2 meters per second clearance. So yeah, some of the timings for Nith Bridge, which is at the longer end of the scale there, push that up. So yeah, we're talking about 45 seconds. We're fortunate that this site is rural. The traffic is light. So yes, I mean, working with a bit of Linsig there, so I've worked out with a 100-second cycle with the clearance for the traffic, and you've got the pedestrian crossing and the clearance. You get about 14 seconds green time for traffic in each direction, which seems to work quite well, but we are lucky it is very light. So animation. So I've done a little animation of what it might look like. So one of the interesting things, so we do have form for this in Scotland, mixing far side and near side displays. I know we're going to get one or two horrified people there, but yeah, I think this is very bespoke. You have got the humpback bridge. We've got kind of these refuges at the top. It is a nice rural setting, so we are expecting people, you know, we can't really close them off. It's part of the historic bridge. So what I'm thinking here is we'll have a push button and a short stub pole at the top with a near side display. You can have a near side display at each, but the far side displays I did find really useful as kind of encouraging you across to almost like a landing area at the other side. I do like a bit of technology here, so I've looked at the on crossing and the PCATs kind of thing, the pedestrian countdown timers, where as you move up, you know, there's always a period where the green man goes off and you go into the clearance. But I think the PCATs displays and the timer will encourage people either, okay, we've got time to cross. If they want to wait at the top, they can. So I think it's a bit of a mix and match, but as I say, all these designs are fairly bespoke. So yes, so the schedule is the design is supposed to be going in, and we're working through approvals, so we're expecting construction next year, 2026. Okay, and that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Any questions? We have a question here from the audience, please.
Mark.
Hello.
Sorry. Start at the back, right.
Just a question about for people that are visually impaired that could use the crossing, because I noticed that the one in Glasgow where I know that you turn around to have the pedestrian display unit facing the traffic, but for those that are visually impaired, has that been taken into consideration when these design were made? Because forgive me, if most sites do have tactile paving and not all, it might seem a bit difficult for them to maybe even navigate the fact that there is a crossing there and that not the crossing the road, but actually going into the tunnel.
Yes, that's a good point. The tactile paving, we've always been taught to kind of direct the two bits of the tactile paving, you know, especially when you're crossing a standard street, you know, lining them up. These are all very bespoke. So yeah, we have relied on the consultants speaking to the visually impaired group, and they felt like tapping along the side of the, you know, like the bridge is a good example. They come up with the, you know, tapping along the side with the cane. So I think, yeah, this it's going to be difficult, and I think if there are particular people in the area, maybe local residents who will use it regularly, they may need a bit of help in escorting them across and showing it how it works, certainly the initial few times.
Hi, Zach Mabs, Actor Travel England. We've had a few requests for similar kind of things and how you'd go about approaching it. The countdown timer means that you can't have any extendable greens or use any detection to set up any extendable greens. And also such a long distance, any difference in walking or travel time is going to have a much bigger effect. So having the refuge on this bridge, those near sides, is that how you're accommodating that difference in speeds?
Yes, we did think about the on-crossings. The initial design was proposed with on-crossing detectors. The main issue is with the refuges, you know, as soon as someone stops at the refuge, your standard on-crossing detectors only detect moving people. So yeah, it is fairly bespoke, but yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of looked at the traffic analysis, and because it is lightly traffic, we can get away with the long clearance. It's only on demand as well, anyway. So, but yeah, I think the main driver was, you know, providing something and trying your best to control it is better. The other option is, right, we can't provide a pedestrian crossing at all, and then the pedestrians are just going to have to fight through the traffic, which is clearly not really acceptable.
Okay. John.
Yeah, it's not really a question. I just want to offer a suggestion about something that you've raised there, Zach, because I've been floating this idea on my introduction to training, signals training course for a long time. When I'm doing the theory and I say that I'm a big fan of PCATs, I think that they're a great thing because I think they give pedestrians a lot of confidence on the crossing. I also think they're very efficient because it means that you can often run the green man for quite a short period because it's just the invitation to start crossing. But one of the criticisms often here is that you can't use them with extensions. You can't have extendable interscreens. Well, I get that the current PCATs indicators are very clever in that I believe they can just be fitted and they will learn their own timings and there's no need to do any special configuration. But I want to put a challenge out to the industry and an idea to see what you think about this. I don't see why you can't use on-crossing extensions with a countdown timer. But what you need, and we'd have to agree how we did it, is a special kind of countdown timer that, let's say, for example, if the normal time it was going to count down was going to be 12 seconds, that you actually had a fixed period it would count down, and then whilst it was going through an extension period, the number literally flashed and it stayed on number 6 and then picked up in the last 6 seconds and completed the last bit. I mean, I don't know what people think, but it would take a bit of engineering, but I can't imagine that it's anything that's beyond us. And then really you're going to win-win. So you've got extendable crossings and you've got a countdown timer. And it would seem to me, having looked at this, because I've not thought about this before, that might be quite useful in that situation. I don't know what you think.
Yes, I think the countdown timer, you know, that's now in the standards is obviously from the work in London. There was an unusual countdown timer, more a European one, and it used to count down, in Glasgow this was, and it used to count down the time to the green man coming on. It was run on a fixed time sequence. And to me, you know, you see them around Europe, you know, there's various ones either counting down to the green man, or there's one I've seen which is red and green, you know, it counts down the time on the green man and then counts down to the next green man. So, but yeah, I think our standards are obviously the amber PCATS one from London has been the way to go. But yeah, I think I'm all up for trying new things and yeah, challenges out.
Brilliant. We're out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank
That
you,
was
Paul.
fascinating stuff, and I've got one for close to where I live that I'll talk to you about another time. That's it for Robert. Thank you very much. Big round of applause.
Okay, thank you.